Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we'll take this opportunity to bring you some newly updated IoT progress inside of Huawei. My presentation is about how to create and sharing the value about the commercialized IoT. From my understanding, we can see that the IoT now is booming. This data in the screen can show us the very fast increasing about different use cases and connections. The first one about the relevant IoT, inside of China, we can see that more than 5 million connections, maybe end of this year. And different kind of other use cases, for example, the manufacturing connection and the car connection has already happened all over the world. And I want to emphasize here is about the mobile network. About more than 10 million chipset. 10 million chipset will be shipped at the end of the year from Huawei, especially for the relevant IoT. And for the whole industry, we can see the industry is very healthy because of the chipset vendor is about more than seven. Yeah, and the modules, I think more than 7 or 10 vendors for the modules. And for the network side, we can know that up to the end of this year, there will be more than 20 countries, 30 more networks will be upgraded to support the relevant IoT. I think it's very, very important. It's the typical architecture about the IoT. From a Huawei side, we will not touch anything about the high-level application and the bottom level about the devices. But what Huawei will do, we will provide our chipset with the Light OS to simplify the device development. And for the network side, we will contribute more for the access connection, about the mobile network and the gateway-based two-hop connection. I want to emphasize here is about the platform. Why there's so many big number about the connections that happen inside China? I think there's an important reason is about the platform. With Huawei's platform, we can greatly simplify the connection between the platform and the device. And also, we have the very flexible and open API for the enablement to the upper-layer applications. This page shows us what we will do in the bottom layer for the chipset side to give the strong support to devices. First one is about the chipset. The chipset for the relevant IoT is mature enough. We can guarantee the shipment, the volume about 1 million per month. So with the Light OS, is the very lightweight, the real-time operating system for the devices. It has already integrated the security layer about the DTLS and the CoAP and the LWM2M. I just want to mention 2 important things here. The first one is LWM2M. For our vendors, for our device manufacturer, maybe how to understand how to handle the different kind of interface between the platform to the chipset. How to make this kind of the multi-vendor interoperability environment is very important. And the LWM2M now, LWM in the December last year, the GSMA and the OMA has issued the version 1.1. And up to the end of this year, they will issue the new version 1.2. In this new version, it will define a lot of management objects to make this multi-vendor management model to achieve the multi-vendor interoperability environment between the platform to the chipset. That means your software for the device will not concern anything, will not worry about anything about this kind of connection, just with the LWM 1.2. And now Huawei network has already integrated the LWM 1.2. Another thing is about the DTS. You know, the DTS is a transportation layer security protocol, and it is coming from IETF. You know, with the traditional DTS, it has a higher power consumption, about more than three times than the non-DTS. But Huawei, we have worked it for about several months. We found one enhancement and improvement to the DTS, and we have already achieved about only 10% power consumption compared with the non-DTS. And it has already been integrated inside the latter OS. And we also push this new improvement to the IETF. And for the network side, we will contribute more for the network connection, including the narrowband IoT network and the enterprise LTE. That, you know, the AELTE is based on the Wi-Fi frequency to achieve the unlicensed high bandwidth. And also, based on the edge computing gateway, we will provide the capability of edge computing. And for the cloud, for the platform, you know, Huawei platform Ocean Connect can be deployed on the cloud, and we have already deployed commercially in China Telecom's cloud, to support the different use cases. The first one is about the utility, based on the narrowband IoT, and the car connection, also including the smart home use cases. So it's very, very flexible, We can collaborate with the existing SIM card management platform, and also open our the northbound the API to support the different kind of application. Yeah. And you know, when we mention the platform, we can count maybe hundreds of platforms in the world. But what's the differentiation from Huawei side? I will let you know. I'll just list maybe 4 different features here. The first one, we can do some kind of the network simulation before your real deployment about your narrowband IoT devices. Yeah, we can use the input of the different sites, location, and the RF, the pole height, and the azimuth, a lot of this engineering parameter to do this kind of simulation for the narrowband coverage. And to give the report, gives the prediction about the future power consumption for each different devices. If, for example, in some bad coverage area, maybe the power consumption is higher, in this case, we will give your suggestion. Maybe you need to do some change about the traffic model to save battery, or give the suggestion to the telco operator to do some network optimization. It's the first one. And second one, you know, we have already achieved the FOTA, the firmware downloading over the air to the devices. You know, we have already help OFO, the OFO, to achieve this kind of commercial launch with the narrowband IoT. Before the commercial launch, OFO asked us to help them to achieve the FOTA. Now we have already finished this kind of feature. They have already commercial launched 500 bicycles this month in Beijing. And the third one is about the end-to-end troubleshooting. end-to-end troubleshooting. We, based on a lot of information from the network and the devices, we can do the end-to-end the troubleshooting and the demarcation. I think it's very, very useful for our tech operator and the verticals. Last one is about the location. Yeah, for the later version, at the end of this year, we will provide this location service based on element IoT. I think it's very, very useful for a lot of use cases. For example, about the logistics. The accuracy about the location can achieve about 30 to 50 meters, 30 to 50 meters. And with the new location protocol about the OTDOA, it can achieve about 5 to 10 meters of the accuracy. I think it's very important. Yeah, we will demo this one in the coming GSMA. And for the security, it's a very important part for the element IoT. And yeah, maybe a lot of, I have contacted a lot of company and lots of government. They think that IoT, the security is very, very important for the IoT. But they cannot do any reservation. How to design our system, how to manage our system to meet this kind of requirement. And from Huawei now, we well, our idea is 3T plus 1M. It's our security framework. The 3T means 3 technologies for different 3 layers. The first one layer is about the technology for devices. We have already issued the security design reference for the devices. And also we have already issued the draft version for the security acceptance, security validation for the devices. We have already started this kind of beta test with the device manufacturer. Try to find the last version, how to do the security design for the devices, including the hardware and the software. Yeah. And the second level about this technology is a lot of security design for the network. When we think something about the IoT, there should be the massive connection in one cell. How to manage so many different kinds of connections to the network? There should be typically there should have the surging requirement. So the network should be specifically designed to meet this kind of requirement, the surging requirement. And for the cloud, we will provide the strong capability about the data security management and how to do the security-related analytics in the cloud. And especially about this privacy management. Yeah, we will maybe Q2 next year. We will provide this kind of GDPR capability in our platform. Yeah, GDPR, is a very strict requirement from Europe. And besides all these 3 layers of technology, we still have one layer of management, security management. We will produce the manual to the vertical, to the tech operator, how to do the routine management about the security. And also, we will provide some visible tools to our customer. Okay, I will quickly show you some use cases about the element IoT. And the first one about the metering. In Shenzhen, the watt meter about 1,200 meters has already commercially running for 4 months. And the data report successful ratio is almost 100%. The environment, the installation environment about the watt meter is very bad. But the data success ratio is very good. And almost, just here is 99.5, just because of 2 meters has the hardware issue, And for the gas meter, 1,000 meters running on the commercial network for 2 months, the data report success ratio is 100%. 100%. It's amazing, yeah. So we can see, from these use cases, we can see that narrowband IoT, this kind of technology has been commercially and massively verified. It's a good technology, yeah, good technology. The last use case is about the Ortho Bicycle. No, just yesterday, we discussed with the Malaga, the city Malaga. Yeah, they has a plan to deploy this Ortho. Yeah, Ortho. So this is a very good use case. Yeah, before the narrowband IoT, they just use the GPRS for the backhauling. And there has a high power consumption, just can extend about less than 2 months. But when they switch to narrowband IoT, it can achieve about more than 2 years. It's almost match the life cycle, the bicycle's life cycle. So it's a very good feature. Yes, they are very happy about that. And for the cow connection, it's a very interesting use cases. Typically, there's a sensor around the cow's neck to detect the pulse and the temperature from the cow. Yeah, the general target is to do the health care. But in the specific time, its key target is to do the prediction about the cow's rut window. For the farmer, the final value is the milk. How to make the cow to produce milk? The cow needs to produce baby. Yeah. How to make the cow to produce baby? You need to find the right time window for the cow to find some boyfriend for her. Yeah, it's very important. Without this, if you lost this time, this right window, it will last 3 weeks. Within these 3 weeks, the cow will produce very few milk with very so much food. So the farmer will lose so much money. So we can see the temperature, the formula there. Yeah, if you lost one rut window, the farmer will lose more than 200 yuan, RMB. So this use case is very popular in South China. China Telecom have signed about more than 1 million cow connection for different kind of farms. So it's very, before the narrowband IoT, the system just used the Zigbee connection. Zigbee has a very short coverage, about less than 200 meters. So cannot achieve about the big farm about, for example, the 5 square kilometers or 7 square kilometers. But now with the narrowband IoT, only one site can achieve so big coverage. So it's a very good technology. And for the manufacturing, we still have our specific solution to support this scenario. First one is about edge computing. While we are providing our specific gateway to achieve the edge computing framework, it's the commercial cases about the elevator connection. Yeah, we have the collaboration with Schindler and Connie and the Chipset to make the globally the elevator connection. Yeah. So Huawei installed now the specific router, the gateway, on the bottom of the elevator, and to connect about more than 40 sensors for the old elevator. And if for the new production of the elevator, it will more than 300 sensors. All this sensor information will be firstly connected inside the gateway and to do a lot of this kind of edge computing. and a lot of useful data will be translated to the cloud. So it's very, very important, and it's how to say it's a competitive design for the innovators. And the second case about this ELTE. ELTE is one good technology just to achieve the narrowband and the higher band of the packet horning with the Wi-Fi frequency, just the multiplier technology. That means we can achieve the LTE packet horning, LTE technology based on Wi-Fi technology. Wi-Fi frequency is unlicensed. So for your factory, for your campus, the Wi-Fi frequency is very easy to be used for this kind of enterprise LTE. So we have already used this technology in Huawei factory, in Shanghai Yangshan port, and Shenzhen airport. It's a very good technology. Okay, last part is about the vehicle. For vehicle, it will have three different layers: the device layer, the network, and the cloud. And first of all, we will provide the platform with our specific designed the vehicle data process suite to do this kind of enablement for the app layer applications. We have signed one global contract with one of our automotive manufacturer in Europe. And inside of China, we have started a lot of the V2X trial. V2X is very important for the next generation, the car connection, including the LTE vehicle, and 5G. And it's one use case that we collaborated with the FAW, the first automotive workshop inside of China. We can provide our platform to do this kind of data processing and to enable the fleet management and car sharing business cases for FAW. Currently, the connection is about more than 200,000. It's the trial that I mentioned about this V2X. It's very important. It's the next generation car connection. Inside of China, 6 countries now started this kind of the pre-commercial trial. Qualcomm have the plan to commercial launch their V2X chipset end of this year. So the V2V use cases and the V2 network and the V2 infrastructure and the V2 person, a lot of these complicated use cases will be tested, verified in these different 6 cities. And Huawei provided our the network and the platform to collaborate with this other partner to achieve the different kinds of use cases. Last part about the ecosystem. Ecosystem for the IoT is very, very important. And Huawei has contributed more for the ecosystem. The first one about chipset. Huawei has contributed our Baltica chipset for the narrowband IoT, and also the network can support the narrowband IoT and the LTE-M and this multiplier. And for the platform, just I mentioned, we can support different kind of protocols, Jiang protocols. And for the industry alliance, it's very important. And Huawei is the co-founder about the narrowband IoT forum GSMA. And we also are the member of the RIC and Industry 4.0, and there's the co-founder about for the AII instead of China. And also, it's the founder of the ECC, Edge Computing Consortium. And for the ROV, it's a very important, the new direction. So for the, Huawei is the member of the 5GAA in Europe, yeah, to launch, try to integrate the new 5G technology with the next generation car connection. And also, up till now, we have the achievement about the partners for different kind of use cases. Now here, just listed the partners for the environment IoT. Yeah, we have already the 9 validated partners. That means these 9 partners, especially for the devices, can provide the global services to help our customer to bring the customer the mature use cases, mature devices for their use cases. And the 55 compatible devices, yeah, partners, yeah. And enabler partner, that means the application. The application has already doing this kind of, the development based on our open API. So the end from bottom layer is about the devices, and the upper layer is the application. So with this mature ecosystem, we can easily bring the use case to our customer. For the lab, it's very important. Yeah, very important. It's a very useful. The online environment for our partner. In China, we have 3 open labs: Shenzhen, Shanghai, and Xi'an. These 3 labs is of 24 plus 7 days running to support the integration about the different kind of use cases for China 3 tackles. Yeah. And globally, we can see we already have 14 self-run, Huawei self-run open labs, and 8 joint lab with tech operator. So this is the very, very important lab for the system. And also we provide different kind of support for our partner. For example, for the device design, we have already provided the hardware reference design and software parameter management experience to the guidelines for the software. And especially for the antenna design. Huawei has shown our reference design of the antenna design, especially including the PCB-based antenna and the spring-based antenna, different kind of. It's a very difficult analog technology for a lot of device manufacturers. And we have already provide a lot of, for example, the pre-integration service to our device and the application partner. Yeah, before the real commercial to the network. So the pre-integration in lab is very important. Yeah, very important. Also, our idea for the ecosystem is the keyword of global. That means we can try to do the global ecosystem and to push some of them to be the local use cases. Yeah, some of the Chinese device manufacturer has already go outside China to Australia, to Europe, to provide their services. And we can also provide our local, for example, Europe, the local partner to globally use. It's the global, the concept. Okay, for the ecosystem, we can see it's from Huawei understanding, it's a very, dynamic alliance among heroes. Okay, thank you.